through from the ECB president on Friday as well. That's what we're tracking globally, but let's now talk about everything that you should be looking at as we get into a fresh trading session. We have our research team joining us with the trade setup this morning. So guys, a very good morning to all of you. We have Rima, Vahishta as well as Nigel joining us. Rima, let me come across to you first. It was yet another positive week for our own markets, the third straight weekly gain that we saw. But take us through everything we should track today.
Well, it looks like we're going to start this truncated week with strength. The SGX Nifty is suggesting a gap up opening of close to about 100 odd points. To run you through the cues, global markets are upbeat, as you pointed out. US markets ending with gains of about 1.3% on Friday. The key to track will be the US midterm elections on Tuesday and the CPI print out of United States on Thursday. These will be the two big global focal points. The Indian markets have been consolidating. They've been adding on bit by bit over the last couple of trading sessions despite weakness in the global markets. The key support level will be Thursday's low point of 17,959. So that 17,950 to 18,000 will be seen as a support level, and markets will be eyeing their all-time high levels. Strong earnings will also probably support the markets today. So from State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, numbers were a beat. Titan numbers were strong. You have a sneak peek in terms of, the numbers that they disclose in terms of business updates, but Titan numbers were also fairly strong. The FIs continue to buy in the cash market. On Friday, they bought for the 7th consecutive day in the cash market, buying close to 1,436 crore. The DII sold 548 crores. So net institutional was a buy of nearly 1,000 crores. So that's a positive. So far the earnings season has been pretty healthy, and now we enter the last leg of the earnings season. So we're still awaiting numbers from Tata Motors, M&M, Coal India, LIC, a couple of the other important ones like Zomato, not in the Nifty, but huge interest over there. It's going to be a busy week for primary markets as well, as 4 IPOs will be opening this week. Back to you.
All right, Rima, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues that we should watch. But let's now talk about all of the individual stocks that you should keep on your radar as well. This weekend was all about earnings, and some big earnings at that. So Vahishta is here to compress all of those and bring us the highlights. Vahishta.
Hi Pavitra, good morning. Let me start off with the big one in the pack, that's SBI. Stellar performance this quarter. ROI crosses 1% for the first time in the history of the bank. The bank reports the highest ever quarterly profits, which is led by 19 quarters high loan growth. Also, the bank gains market share on a year-on-year as well as a quarter-quarter basis. Moving on to TVS Motors, again strong earnings, revenues were higher than estimates. Q2 strong volume growth of 12.1% year-on-year, coming to 10.27 lakh units. And this is the 4th consecutive quarter of 10% plus margins. Moving on to some of the FMCG players, Britannia, inline volumes, there's been a beat across all parameters and reports the highest ever quarterly revenue. Cummins India, all-round beat versus the CNBC TV18 poll. Domestic sales have improved 11%. Exports were better off 21% in this quarter and contributed 500 approx crores. But the management stays cautiously optimistic on the short to medium-term demand outlook. Well, for Marico, domestic volume growth at 3% versus the poll of 1 to 2%. Gross margins, though, have dipped but improved on a year-on-year basis. The last one is Titan. For Q2 of FY23, the revenue beat was led by sale of gold ingots, which was worth 482 crores versus 192 crores on a year-on-year basis. The EBITDA beat was led by jewelry business, one-off gains of 2%.
All right, Vahishta, thanks a lot for getting us that entire list of stocks. We're going to keep all of these on our radar. Finally, let's hand it over to Nigel, who's looking at all of the cues from the futures and options space. Hi, Nigel.
Well, morning. Coming out of a weekend, I'm just thinking that the FIs at one point of time, their status update was complicated. Now, in fact, it appears they're in love with the Indian markets. The last 7 sessions, they've been buying non-stop on a day-to-day basis. Well, it's, they're pumping close to 2,100 crores odd. So the FI money, well, that's back, and that's pretty good news. Now, in the F&O market, the live indicator that you have is the premium on the Nifty futures, and that expanded to around 77 points odd. So that indicated that there was some long addition, but not from the FIs, because the FIs, they added some mild shots, close to around 4,000 contracts out there, little more than what they added on the long side, but they continue to remain net long, because 58% of their position is on the long side, 42% is on the short side. On the option side, well, they're doing both of it. They bought more calls than puts, so you'll say, well, that's a bit of a bullish sentiment. The problem is they continue to write calls quite aggressively as well. So, both those two data points, they nullify each other. But I was looking at the most active strikes. The 18,200 call, the 18,300 call, well, between them, they added close to around 35 lakh shares. There were signs of writing at both these two strikes. Now, on the downside, the 18,000 put, well, that added close to around 40 lakh shares. So that's giving the bulls hope that around that 17,900 odd should hold out in the near term. And the PCR, which was going to around 1.3 odd, that's cooled off to around 1.1 odd, which is fairly good. Now, what are the levels you're looking at? Well, we're going to be starting off well in the green. But breaking out of that 18,300, well, that'll be very, very interesting. There could be some resistance at that level, so we're likely to start out there. But till that 17,900 odd mark, you'll say, well, you're pretty much in bull grip. And the 50 DMA at around that 17,550 odd, that's the next support zone. So let's hope we have a good Monday. Back to you.
All right, let's hope we have a good Monday. For now, looks like the start will definitely be quite positive, like Nigel was just mentioning as well. Around 87 points higher on the SGX Nifty. Nigel, Reema, Vahishta, thanks a lot for joining us and prepping us up for this trading session. With that, it's time for